dear devotees, and my dear skeptics. I have been given the task to tune you in this morning for our great Nam Yajna, or the sacrifice of chanting the holy name together in Sankirtan. When I was thinking what to say, I looked over to Abhishek, and somehow he was positioned in such a way that Krishna's foot was right on his beautifully shaped head. just here, it was someone said in such a way that you got the dust of the lotus feet. And when I saw you so close to the Lord, something struck me. When we chant, we actually have association of the Lord. Chanting Hare Krishna means to keep Krishna in the heart, says Srila Prabhupada. Now, what is it that brings an ordinary conditioned soul like us from point A, where he's entangled in Maya, to point B, where he is in the association of Lord Krishna? What is it that affects such a mighty journey? What? This is the question. That which brings about a journey from where one thing comes from here to there, or where a conditioned soul comes from the world of Maya to Krishna, is an upaya. Sanskrit word upaya means wow, this is a dramatic effect. And upaya is variously called also a sadhana, a devotional practice. But I like the word upaya very much here. A means. Has anyone of you ever shot the long bow? It's a bow which Robin Hood is said to have invented, and I thought, since you are from England, the land of Robin Hood, that's what we Germans feel. Long bow is a specific bow which allows the archer to shoot his arrow over a long distance, and with a lot of practice he can hit a target. So such a long bow is an upaya, a means to transport an arrow from here to there. And this is exactly the metaphor which the Bhagavatam uses for chanting the holy names. It says the chanting of the holy name is here's the verse. Maybe I will ask my little orchestra. The Vedic mantra is the bow. The long bow, I will translate it. The pure living entity is the arrow, and the target is the supreme being. Let us repeat this. The Vedic mantra is the bow.
The Vedic mantra is the bow.
The pure living entity is the arrow.
The pure living entity is the arrow.
That's you. Huh? And the target is the supreme being.
and the target is the Supreme Being.
Chanting, if it is done in the proper mood, can bring us, just like an arrow, which is brought, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You all can become like Abhijit, who's touched. I mean, we have to. Yes, now it is. By the lotus feet of Krishna, if you actually learn to chant. There are various scriptural quotes of this. I just want to quote one verse and then leave it, because you are all sleep deprived and can't concentrate very nicely. This verse says, the normal mantras aim at liberation from the material existence, but the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, which is full of the names of God, bring you directly to Krishna and give you that rarely attained jewel, love of Godhead. It's a jewel which Brahma and Shiva beg for and can't have. But someone who chants the holy name is brought into the association of Krishna, and there he will feel some attraction and love. So I like this analogy very much, of the arrow analogy, because it teaches us to practice. If you want to, and I really could say that, like, maybe that's one thing in the next Pandava Seva journey. You should try to all get a bow and shoot arrows, not at each other. And the girls at the boys and the boys at the girls. But just learn to shoot arrows. Very soon you will know it's not as easy as in the Robin Hood movies. It requires a practice. It requires precision. It may require some determination also. You need to properly learn to put the arrow on the string. You need to properly learn how to, how do you say this, tighten the bow or draw the bow. And you need to just know, how do I take aim? And only then will your arrow reach the target. So same as there in chanting. If you do not know a few things, which I will try to just brief you in this morning, you will miss the target, like Stephen Jobs. Stephen Jobs was very poor when he discovered his mission in life, that is to challenge the parameters of technology and come up with something which was totally new, the Apple computer. He was so poor that he went every Sunday to the Hare Krishna temple in Boston and ate prasadam, took part in the Sunday feast, chanted and washed pots. Somehow or other, he became a great material success, but spiritually, he was also quite spiritual. Do you know this? He gave a well-acclaimed lecture in Stanford, which I'm sure Gopal and Ganesham Priya know by heart, or something like that. You remember the point with the death? It was a beautiful point and motivating. But he did not apply himself so much to spiritual practice, because maybe he didn't know how to shoot the bow properly. That is, how to chant in such a way that he attained the association of Krishna. It's said, even when you take to chanting, but you don't chant properly, you will get material benefit. Oh, that's nothing for a spiritualist. It's of no interest. Who needs money? Only those who have no inner, not a lot of inner treasures. They are so much dependent on outer things. So, in spiritual life and chanting, you can get the highest treasure, which makes you independent of all material ups and downs and so on. 5 rules which I would like to introduce to you so that you can do proper chanting or chant in the proper mood. Are you ready?
Yes.
By the way, I have to say something who have never seen me lecturing like this. My dear devotees who are not from the Pandavasenas, I'm preaching to young and restless men and women, so we have to use a little different language than I usually use. Please forgive me. The first rule, and it's so important that you learn this, is alignment. It stands for the A in the letter A in the arrow. Arrow is an acronym, and the first means an A stands for alignment. You must tune your body, your mind, and your heart to achieve full presence in the chanting and avoid distraction. See, there's a rule which you learn in Bharatanatyam. Wherever the hand goes, there the eye goes. And wherever the eye goes, there the attention will go. So, if you chant and your eyes are not aligned to chanting, but you look all over, your attention will not be able to be focused on the holy name. You need to therefore focus your body and the senses of the body, very important the eyes and the ears, and to the chanting. So when we chant, we don't look around and say, I, and write SMS messages to our friends in New York, and so on. No, we just need to focus our body totally. Then comes the next. Our mind needs to be focused. Ooh, very difficult, but in ordinary life, but very easy when you chant. The way you focus your mind in chanting is by focusing it on 2 activities. Pronouncing or singing, like our Nimai, singing the mantra, and then hearing. That's all. You just bring your mind to these 2 things. Pronouncing the mantra and what? Hearing, yes. It's like rowing a boat. 4 days ago I was on a lake in a movie, and in the movie I was supposed to row. I was a monk who was rowing from one monastery to the other, and I was rowing like this. And then there was a helicopter over me who made a movie of me rowing. And I became a little nervous. I don't know, no one likes to be watched so closely. And I missed, this. When you row, you have to do with both hands. So I missed. And then I began to turn in circles. Very embarrassing. And I lost my direction. So when you chant, don't lose your direction. You must use your tongue, that's one, or, and your flapping ear, that's another or. And if you somehow use these 2, and don't miss a beat, you chant and you hear like this, then you go in a very good direction in your chanting. If you just chant and you don't hear any longer, your tongue just vibrates and you don't hear, the concentration breaks down. The same is if you just hear the others chanting in the kirtan, but you yourself stop to sing, then you also lose the dynamic of the kirtan. Both is very necessary. And Prabhupada expressed this in a beautiful, I would say, aphorism or instruction. He was once asked how to bring the chanting to perfection, and he said, listen to yourself chant sincerely. So while you chant, you should be able, in kirtan, to sing and hear yourself. That means also that the instruments shouldn't be too loud. It's just you should be able to hear your voice. And then you will be very, very nicely said. And finally, when you chant, body means the senses, the mind have to be brought in alignment, and your heart should also attain full presence. Hare Krishna. In Vrindavan, where I live every year for 2 months or so, I sometimes live in an ashram near Govindakund. And this ashram is maybe one of the few very peaceful places in Vrindavana. When I have an opportunity to greet you all in Vrindavan, I would love to bring you to this ashram. It has a wonderful court, and there are 3 cows. One cow is extremely temperamental, but very nice, very affectionate. When they see you, they will gallop towards you and lick you from toe to hair parting. And there's a wonderful tree under which Madhavendra Puri is said to have chanted. It's very, very nice. And as you chant, there you can see both the Govinda Kund and Giriraj in front of you. You can see many parrots who come there. The cows are just next to you and moo, and do their cow activities. And it's very nice. Now it's not so easy to enter this peaceful ashram because it's locked. It is locked by one Baba. His name is Deenbandhu Baba. He has a very impressive belly and is very enthusiastic for Krishna and very humble, very nice. Deenbandhu is his name. Now, if you want to enter the ashram, you need to stand before the ashram and call his name. Deenbandhu. But he doesn't open for everyone. Somehow this Baba has his own rules. He only opens to those who he feels close to. Because so many want to come into the ashram and like in Vrindavan, and just talk. But he is sincere sadhaka, he does spiritual practice, so he doesn't open for anyone. So what you have to do in order to get his attention, you have to call very, very, very feelingly, Deenbandhu, oh, Deenbandhu, oh, Deenbandhu. Then he will maybe be open to you, the ashram. So when you also want to attain Krishna's attention and enter his world, you also need to chant quite feelingly with your heart the mantra. Then only Krishna will open the secret door which leads into the kingdom of Godhead. And this mechanical chanting alone will not bring Deen Bandhu Baba and open the thing. So Deen Bandhu is, of course, his name is like that, but Deen Bandhu means who knows? The friend Bandhu of the fallen. Yes. In our scriptures, there is a very nice verse which expresses the heartfelt chanting in which a devotee turns to Krishna, hoping that he will open the door of his kingdom of God and usher you in. The verse says, O Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in this material world, today, at the 12th hour Kirtan, today I'm turning towards you as your sincere and serious servant. This is what moves the heart of the Lord, to open the door to the kingdom of Krishna consciousness. This is the internal requirement of someone who enters Nam Seva. So I will just briefly, I have 4 more other points, but I think I leave it with 1 point, and maybe tomorrow or another time I can explain the other ones. 3 things you must know, that the chanting is a wonderful upaya or means, much like a bow, a long bow, which can bring the living entity into the presence of the Lord. This, however, only happens if you know how to use the bow properly. And in order to use the bow properly, you need to use your sarana sharira, that means what the Lord has given you for spiritual life properly. What do you have? Your body, your mind and your heart. And all this is to be brought to the chanting. How do you use your body in the chanting? I'm asking you.
Clap.
Clap.
Or sit straight.
Sit straight.
Good posture, yeah.
Excuse me?
Good posture.
The good posture. That will help you. What else do you do with the body? You're all tired. We think.
Use our voice.
We use our voice, of course, most important. Tongue, yes. And what else in the body? Ears, correct. Most important are the 2 rowing oars, the rudders, yes? The tongue and the ears needs to be properly used. It helps very much to sit, or as our devotee, your good name?
Lauris.
Lawrence.
Lauris.
Lauris.
Yes.
Lauris. He's from which country?
Lithuania.
Acha, now everything. Lauris today has danced very nicely. When you chant in Kirtan, dancing is very, very good. I just want to say, when you dance, please avoid self-centered dancing. where you dance in order to draw the attention of others to your energetic and muscular dancing. It is good to remove ourselves from the throne of our heart and to put whom there? Krishna. You know everything. Very good answer. To put Krishna there. So dance for Krishna. Use your voice for Krishna. Hear his name. And then the mind, what do you do with your mind when you chant? Think of your emails.
Focused on Krishna.
Focus. The mind, yes. It is very much focused. Just bring it always back to hearing and chanting. And your heart finally needs to be used in the chanting by bringing it into a devotional mood, a mood where you really want to connect with Krishna, where you pray. And this is so very important. The heart also should be used when there is faith. You should chant with full faith in Krishna and His holy name. The heart can be used also in the other 4 areas of the Kirtan arrow. I will just mention them: a relationship to Krishna, doing your Kirtan as a rendering of service. You can open your heart with feelings of separations, and you can finally use your heart to live a life in Sharanagati and surrender. I will give you this little card with a Kirtan arrow, which explains the acronym arrow in relationship to the holy name. When this lecture is finished, please come to me and I will personally have to take the great joy to give you this, which I consider is my greatest discovery in spiritual life, the tremendous power of the holy name, which can bring me any moment, any time into the direct association of Krishna, if I use the proper understanding of chanting in the proper mood, like an archer who chants in a trained way, and chants, who shoots his arrow and reaches the target. Hare Krishna. I was just a while ago, I will end with this analogy, I was driving through Switzerland to the Bhakti retreat. That's something where maybe in the future we can have a Pandavasena retreat. It is high in the mountains, you see the snow-capped Alps. I was driving by one lake where a very dramatic event took place. There was a very, very cruel baron, Landfürst Geisler, who took the son of a poor man called Wilhelm Tell and told Wilhelm Tell, you are my prisoner and your son is also my prisoner, and I will torture you to death unless you are doing something to make you and your son a free man. What should I do? Said Wilhelm Tell. Well, you should take your bow and go to a long distance, I think it was 150 meters, and you should shoot an apple on the which you will place on the head of your son. What would you feel, Nimai, if we would give you a bow and we would put Jai Krishna on it? And you would have to shoot a small apple on his head. You would most probably go back to London in the next airplane. Do it. So Wilhelm Tell could not escape the challenge. Otherwise he and his son would be killed anyways. So he took 2 arrows. One he hid in his jacket, and the other he only had 1 arrow, or 1 try, and he aimed, and he prayed, and he shot this arrow a long, long way, and his son was there. He remembered the face of his son when he was putting the arrow on. The son just so sweetly smiled at him and said 1 word, "Father, I trust you." So he shot the arrow went, and then a wind came and pressed the arrow down, which means it would go into the heart of his son. But then he prayed, and another wind came and put the arrow on course, and jump, it went right through the apple. Yes. Then he took his son and went away. There was a little rowing boat, but before he entered the rowing boat, that's how I heard it, and this cruel baron was there, looking at him. How could he do it? Wilhelm Tell just took the 2nd arrow and pointed it at him, saying, if I would not have gotten the target right on the apple, and I would have killed my son, I had another arrow, and that would not miss its target. Not for you! It's a very moving story. Those who are from Switzerland will have goosebumps. But yes, the point is, please, my dear devotees, learn to shoot the arrow properly. Learn to use this gift and become a true member of the Hare Krishna movement, not just a nominal member who doesn't know the art of chanting. And this is an opportunity which you might say we always chant, can chant every day, but not in the association of Gopal and other devotees. So please use the opportunity properly. I wish you all the best. We have 10 more minutes to see if there are any questions. Then I will request you to pick your personal Kirtan arrow.